Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming today. My name is Tate Liang, and I'm a member of the Cooper Union Student Lecture Series. This series, unlike other lectures and symposia in our school, is curated entirely by the students of the Cooper Union. And this allows new dialogues surrounding and between the established voices in our school. Through our events, we seek to create intimate exchange between the lecturer, the students, and our faculty. First, I would like to thank Elise Jaff and Jeffrey Brown for their past and continuing support in this endeavor. Their generosity make this series possible, along with the continued legacy of the Cooper Union student body as a referent voice of the critical pedagogy that distinguishes this institution. Also, thanks to Mauricio Higuera, Monica Shapiro, Haley Eber, and the committee for all their help in organizing these lectures. Tonight, we have a very special event with some very special architects who have come here from Japan. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Takaharu and Ms. Yui Tezuka. Yui Tezuka studied at the Musashi Institute of Technology and at UCL, and Takaharu Tezuka studied at also the Musashi Institute of Technology and at the University of Pennsylvania. After working with Richard Rogers for 4 years, Takaharu and his wife founded Tokyo-based firm Tezuka Architects in 1994. They're both professors of the Tokyo City University and have given many lectures around the world. Through more than 100 projects, including cultural, residential, religious, and educational buildings, they have extensive experience designing spaces of living and learning that are intimately connected with human personality. Their work underlines a narrative for its occupants and a creative perspective on community, resulting in a responsive architecture that almost seems to interact with us. At the same time, these projects demonstrate incredible attention to detail, such as material, structure, light, and at every scale. Notable examples include the Fuji Kindergarten, which was named the best school in the world by OECD and UNESCO, as well as the Nijima Chapel, which has won multiple awards, including the World Architecture Festival World Building of the Year. I've always admired their work and have taken inspiration from their projects. I was thrilled to invite them to this lecture at Cooper. I was also really fortunate to get to know them yesterday and to get feedback on our studio projects. With that, please welcome Mr. Takaharu Tezuka and Ms. Yui Tezuka. Great. Are you happy with this?
Yeah. Is that good? Yes.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, thank you very much for inviting us inviting us to the Cooper Union. I have been to New York sometime, but it's first time for us to come to Cooper Union. And is that?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And I work with my partner, Takaharu Tezuka. He always wear in blue, and I always wear in red. So my iPhone is red, and my socks are red. And when we decided we are red and blue, we decide everything we share is yellow. So my daughter is in yellow, and eventually we've got the son, and he was supposed to be in yellow as well, but her brother should be in green, so he became green. So our family is four primary colors. So it's quite easy to recognize us. We found a very nice artwork at Pompidou Center. The reason why I start talking about family is that the family is very important to understand the happiness. We design architecture for the happiness of the happiness of the people. Architecture is a tool to make people happier. So we should know what happiness is to create happiness. Then I'll start talk about the row house. Yeah, this is a quite old. This is a little bit old house, and we designed this house 1999. And this is one of the smallest house we have designed, but because this house is small, you will understand our philosophy.
落ち忘れ
何
ファミリーの話で落ち忘れた結婚の話ね。まあいいや、全部忘れて大事なので。
And this is the house the family of the Ru house used to live in. When we went to see the house for the first time, the wife said, "We love to have lunch on top of the roof." And then she took us upstairs, and she.
これ。何してんの？こうして、これ。
And she took us upstairs, and she suddenly jumped off from this window, and she said, "This is my favorite place." So it was hard to believe. And I asked her, "Is it all right?" And she said, "It's safe. We are going out there quite often, so you don't need to worry about it." And then she showed us a picture to prove. Their daughters are smiling with this tiny and steep roof. You can see there is no handrail, and you can see some ceramic tiles are falling off. We must say it is quite dangerous. Then we decided to design this kind of house. Yeah. We designed a single-story house with inclined rooftop. Actually, this house is located right on the edge of the residential area, looking down the valley. So you can see the valley and the mountain from this house. Actually, the inclined rooftop is different from the flat rooftop of modern building. In Japan, if you go to riverbank, you can see many couples are sitting on the inclined surface. Yeah.
Just I told, we just my partner told you that we are in color, that we as a family is a very important part of our concept. And with we talk about our office, then in our office there are many couples, and there are 8 marriages happened in the office. They said, the happiness is very important. Okay, if you don't know the happiness of our life, then you can't design happiness. You can provide happiness to others. Okay, so if you want to find your mate, you should come to my office. And also, I need to talk about this roof house. Whenever we talk about this roof house, we talk about time in McDonald's. You have McDonald's, right? Okay. And I always tell my students, if you want to have a fast date, don't go to McDonald's. Okay. Because if you go to McDonald's, there's a small table and you're going to sit front to front. Okay. And in that kind of situation, you have to keep talking because you are facing each other. Okay. But in the fast days, there's not so much things to talk about. You say you're forced to talk, and you start saying wrong things 30 minutes after. Okay, your silence is quite awkward. And I tell students, if you want to have a date, you should go to riverside. The Tama River close to our university. Okay, on the sloping side, you find many couples, and if you sit on the sloping side, and the dating works quite better. Okay, when you sit side by side, you don't need to see each other. So when you don't see each other, silence is romantic. And secondly, you are seeing same view. Okay, and then say, okay, there's a splash on the water. Yes, there might be nice fish down there. It's such a stupid conversation. It works, okay? And thirdly, when it's inclined, it's easier to lie down. So it's easier to go to next stage. Okay, that kind of things is very important. Yes, this is the kind of things I was talking yesterday in the studio. Okay, you guys are too serious. You talk about sections, human activities, okay, interactions, cultures. We don't use that kind of word. Okay. Anyway, it's yours.
Yeah, so this roof is inclined, and you can see the view of the valley and the mountain from the roof. And to access to the roof, we didn't want to put the doors because they used to come out from the window. So you know that when you do, you know that you are not supposed to come out from the window. So when you do, you are not allowed to do. You feel good. So we start putting skylights, and you can lean a ladder to the skylight, and you can come up to the roof. And then the younger sister said, the skylight in the bedroom of children's bedroom is mine. And the elder sister said, skylight in the study room is mine. And the father said, skylight in the main bedroom is mine. And the mother said, the skylight in the kitchen is mine. So eventually, every family member has their own skylight, and then can put the ladder underneath, and they can come up to the roof whenever they like. And they said, it seems we are having lunch on top of the roof. We need a kitchen, so we designed it. And she said, I want to have some kind of privacy on the roof. Actually, it's a bit awkward to have privacy on the roof, but she said, so we designed a small wall here. And she said, my mother, actually the grandmother, living in this direction, 80 meters away. So, and she opened the rain shelter every morning. So she wants to make sure if she is alive or not in the morning. So we had to cut the corner of the wall. And then she said, it's a little bit cold in winter. So we designed a stove, and it's quite hot in summer. So we put the shower behind the wall. And this is how it is published all over the world. And you can see the view of the valley and the mountain. And you can see many activities going on. After this house was published, we got the complaint from the professional architect. It is how can I say, illegal house. Yeah, yeah, because this house doesn't have any handrail. And actually, the client himself, he had the architect's license. He worked for government. And what he said was he doesn't have any handrail on the house he lives in. And he said, there is no...
See, I can show you.
Yeah, this house doesn't have a handrail on the roof. Yeah, you know. And he said, there is no, he can't see any handrails on the roof of the normal houses around there. So he said, he doesn't want any handrail. So we didn't put it.
This roof house had been published quite a lot, and we counted up to 300 magazines still going on, and even you can see this house in the school book, so every children knows. But now they're grown up because this house is from last century, and some of them became architects. Okay, and then they want to do the same. Okay, always students want to copy things. Okay. And then they put people on top of the roof, on the drawing, and then they go to government, to get their permissions. And of course, they say no, you can't do that. But always they say, do you know this roof house? Okay, it's on the school book. What's wrong with it? They said, we know this house. That's the reason why you can't do that anymore. So it's good, it's original. Nobody can do it anymore.
This is how they have lunch on top of the roof. So how can I say? This table is flat. So the legs of the table is shorter on this side, and the legs of the table is longer at the another side. So children sit this side and the adults sit another side. Actually, when this house was published in the architecture magazine, one critic said that it is wrong to design this kind of this house because the roof is very hot in summer and very cold in winter. So it's a kind of fiction. So architects shouldn't do this kind of fiction. So, but when the client read that article, they got very angry and they wrote back to the architects. Roof is very hot in summer, so they climb up the roof in the morning or in the evening. And in winter, it's very warm after afternoon. So why the architects doesn't understand that kind of simple thing? That's the things they were saying. Yeah.
Actually, instead of bringing the environment to us, we could choose a timing. That is what they used to do. We forgot about it.
Yeah, that's kind of simple thing. It's quite important. And this is the kitchen. Actually, we wanted to put the gas stove, but the gas company didn't allow us to do that.
It's awful design, Yeah. We didn't have the budget, so this is a present from carpenter. Okay.
And this is the shower. Yeah. Actually, we thought we were not sure they're using this shower because it's so open. But one day we got a call from the client. It was very nice to take hot shower in typhoon. He was serious and she was serious. So I asked her, "Are you all right?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm all right. Because I was wearing t-shirts." She didn't understand what we were worrying about. And the children are climbing up the ladder. Yeah, all the skylights can be opened by hand. Children are looking down, and their friends are popping out through the skylight. When you are on the roof, you can see many children popping out and popping down through the skylights. It's like a field rabbit. It's popping out and popping down.
Do you know the game? You get the holes and hit their head with a hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, we feel like putting hammer to them. Yeah, I like to show you the importance of the thinness of the roof. When red and blue people are sitting on the edge of the roof, you can see the red and blue socks, from underneath. Then we got a call from the owner of the Fujiki Nagara. This is the old building of the Fujiki Nagara. The building itself was, quite a nasty concrete building, but there is a nice atmosphere. And the nice thing about this kindergarten is that corridor was external. So the principal was walking along this corridor back and forth. And when he get into the classroom, we could hear the voice of the children. It was very nice. So we want to keep that kind of feeling. So we thought that if we make it circle, we could keep him walking all day long. And we have children. You know that the children love to make circle. It's a kind of genetic instinct written in the cerebral cortex. So
it's a spontaneous movement, Yeah.
So we make this kind of make this donut-shaped kindergarten, and we cover the roof with wooden deck, and you can see there are many skylights like a row house, and there are big trees, and it's difficult to keep big trees in the middle of the building because if we cut the roots, the tree dies. So we did a kind of archaeological excavation to make sure we don't cut any roots. So we designed a special base which doesn't cut root of the trees.
Just say you can see the position in the column. Just could you go back one, because they are students. In a normal structure class, you'd be told you put columns, and it's got radius way. It's in order, but actually the positioning of the column are quite random, because we didn't want the column to dictate the shape. The movement of the children, the first. Okay, children first. Okay, and also when you put the column this way, always get the triangle on surface, so you can get the rigidity on surface.
And this is how we get the trees. And actually, the principal said, "I don't want any handrail on the roof." And so he said, "How about sticking out nets around the edge of the roof to catch the children who had fallen off?" He was quite serious. So we made a drawings, and we showed that we brought that drawing to the Planning Application Authority. But they said, "Are you sure? Are you crazy?" So we couldn't realize his idea around the edge of the roof. But we used his idea around the edge of the tree.
Maybe I can say more story about behind it. Just the principal convinced us we make a drawings of the net so we can catch the children falling off, and they eventually convinced us. And then, of course, we are told you are insane. You can't do that. So we came back to him, and then he said, "No, I'm serious." And you go back again. I realized this time, just the people in the city hall are quite serious also. And I realized, all of them are from this kindergarten, such a huge kindergarten. And since they were 3 years old, always they were told, you have to listen to the principal. He's very, very important. So even they're grown up, like 40 years old, they listen to, listen to the principal. It's a kind of brainwash starting from 3 years old. So if they don't listen to mayor, they listen to principal. So so we could keep the idea, okay, somehow.
Yeah.
Not all over the place.
So we use his idea around the tree. But for the planning application, we put this handrail with rope.
I know that it's illegal in USA. Of course, it's illegal in Japan too.
But this handrail is nothing to do with kids. So children keep falling off. Yeah, this boy doesn't care the handrail, and there's more and more and more. Sometimes we get 40 children around tree. And the children loves tree, and you can see he's eating tree. So we had to put the handrail, but we designed a special handrail. So the distance between the bar is 11 centimeter. So the children cannot put their heads out, but they can pull the legs out. So they can sit around the edge of the roof.
Principal didn't want to put in handrail. He insisted that he wanted that, but I always told him it's impossible to remove it. Yeah. But this is how we compromise.
Yeah. And the monkeys behind the bar.
Yeah,
zoo. And the feeding time. Yeah, you can see again, the ceiling height is very low. It's about 2.1 meter. So you can see the children's on the roof and the children's on the roof at the same time. If the ceiling height is quite high, you can see only ceiling. So the ceiling height is quite low. And when kindergarten was built, we were surrounded by 500 children. It was so touching. And after this kindergarten was built, we got a call from the municipal of culture. And they said, the wonderful thing happened. Your school was selected selected as the best school in this 50 years from OECD. You know OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Yeah, who helps the economical situation in the world. And then
Too fast. Yeah, I think they should tell more. When some people says in Japan, we act is easier to do whatever we want. It's not true. In Japan, it's impossible to do the staircase in a school. It's illegal. And here, we are supposed to have 3 meter ceiling height. And the local authority said, no, you have to have 3 meter. But the principal said, if your ceiling is too high, you see only underneath the ceiling. And if it's lower, you can see the activity onto the roof. So you can see the both. How about the local authority? He said, no, I'm paying the money. So you listen to me. So it's a good thing. And also, there was supposed to be the wall between the classroom. He said, this is Montessori. We want to put them together. So take this wall out. Okay? And I'm paying money. So listen to me. So we kept doing such things. And usually, authority want to complain, but they are really scared of the principal. He's quite a tough guy, and he's the president of kindergarten council or whatever. He's the top. So, oh my goodness, and so they try to complain to us, because we're the weakest in the group. And then one day something wonderful happened. That is what the US talking about.
Yeah. And
okay, the war. Okay, it's all good. Okay, and the interesting thing about Japanese government is that they don't listen to Japanese people. They don't listen to Chinese. They don't listen to Korean, but they listen to Americans. Okay, and also Europeans. And there's something wonderful happened. And this school was selected as the best in the world. There are 166 submissions throughout the world. Actually, it's not true. These are not submissions from architects, submissions from each government. I'm sure this country also submitted. And it's not only the kindergarten, all school buildings, including universities. Okay? Maybe some of the buildings in your school we defeated. Anyway. And then we were invited to Paris to get the prize, because the OECD and UNESCO. And then we got the delegate coming from Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Paris. It's quite well treated. And it's never happened in your life. And finally, Yui became the one to set up new standards for the kindergarten. So situation changed. Always we get complaints. After this incident, when we want to do something more, we could ask my partner over dinner, could you do this? And she said yes. I found it's nice to have a government in your house. We can do whatever we want. Just the game has been changed.
This is the gargoyle to collect leaves. And the teacher is teaching children that if it rains, when it rains, the water come get together and it makes stream and it becomes river or something like that. And this is the lake washing place. The water tap is free shaped, so children can spray the water to their friend. And actually, this boy is not washing his legs. He's putting water in his boots. This is the classroom. We put the sliding doors between the outside and inside. So there are 6 rails, and the sliding doors runs along the curved rail like train. And this is a classroom. You can see there is no wall between classroom. So we said so the children who doesn't like his classroom can go to next classroom. And we asked principal, is it okay? And he said, it's okay because he will come back eventually because it is round.
Yesterday, I kept asking you, some of the students in the studio, why? Because why is important for us? And one of you said, no teacher asks why in the school, And I told them, always in university, always I tell them, I ask them impossible questions, like how do you make architecture without wall and a roof, okay? And how can you make window without wall? If you think that the window is things in the wall, okay, you cut out. But if you don't have wall, how would you make window? But then here you don't have any wall. That kind of discussion is very important. And then we need to say why we don't have wall. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, in this kindergarten, there's no bullying. You know bullying?
Bullying, yeah?
Yeah, bullying.
No.
Because when we have a wall between the classroom, the classroom becomes like a kind of cage. So in the cage, we have the instinct of ape. So we try to make hierarchy.
Okay.
Yeah, among us. So always the lowest, the weakest would be segregated. But in this kindergarten, there is no wall, so people can go to next classroom. So there is no bullying. And another good thing is that the children show a tremendous level of concentration. So when the teacher comes into the classroom, so children keeps their eyes onto the teacher. We asked to the principal, why these things happen? And principal said, because there's a noise from the the noise from the next classroom. So because there are noise, so children have to concentrate on the teacher. So you know that if the baby doesn't sleep in the quiet place, if the baby sleeps well on the knees of the parents in the very noisy place, but once you put the baby in the bedroom, they start crying. So children doesn't listen to the teacher when it's very quiet, but they listen to the teacher very carefully when there is noise. So noise.
Yeah, that's the reason why you students sleep quite well in the classroom. Okay, it's too quiet.
Yeah, so noise is very important for the kindergarten, for the kids.
Yeah, just I'm showing in interesting slide and showing the movie. You can hear, okay, this, and you can hear the beep, behind the ritual. This is not Japan, okay? This is Indonesia. And when we were, when we were in the jungle, we couldn't hear the background noise. The background noise, the beep, is from jungle. Okay. And then when we back in Tokyo, we played this ritual, and we realized something in the background, something noisy. So I thought it's kind of glitch of our iPhone. But the scientists who invited us there told us, the noise was there all the time. But your brain canceled the background noise. That is very, very important for us. And also he told us, in daily life, your body is going forward, painful. Cardiovascular system, and the breathing, and the heart. These are much noisier than construction site. The big your brain cancer. But once you dive under the water, you hear your body because you are disconnected the rest of the world. Okay? Now, a point is granting. It's quite good movie. And one of the lady, got some kind of stress in school, and she was diagnosed with ADHD, and she got mentally ill. But she went to countryside, healed, and then she became one of the professors in the university. And the point is, background noise is very, very important. And this paper I wrote for United Nations, they asked me to write about it. When you put kids into very good school building with sound barrier, and they get a problem. And also, this is not a paper written by us; it's written by medical doctors. When you put a newborn baby in special room, very quiet space, and they got mentally ill, they start having trouble after they leave because they can't develop noise cancelling system, in the special room, and they sleep better in noisy room. Okay. Anyway, okay, and also you can say that. Yeah. ちょっと待って。はい。僕やったりもしたね。これ見せちゃダメじゃん。Yeah, and one day we got a German professor coming to there. It's quite open. She said, "Wow, it's rainy day. They might get wet." Okay, what would you do? And the principal said, "Wow, in Japan, usually they change when they get wet." And then our German professor said, "Oh, but still they get wet. What would you do?" And he said, "Oh, in Tokyo, usually they're waterproofed. You can wash them clean." No? So when it's rainy day, they get out under the rain.
Yeah, you can see the children are waterproof. And this is we did a workshop with children to make the furniture. They're supposed to help teacher, but they didn't at all. This is not spring. And in the end, the teacher piled up the boxes and make this furniture. They changed this configuration every month, and this works as this works when they have an exhibition. And this is a washing basin. So we designed this. So when children like to wash their hands, actually they have to communicate. Yeah, we force them to communicate because in Japan, recently they like to play computer games. So they don't talk each other so much before. So we try to force them to talk. And at the time of Christmas, and there are trees. Trees are, just in the middle of the classroom. Actually, when we designed this kindergarten, we said that it might be difficult to, to stop the leaking from when it rains. But the principal said, you don't need to worry about, because the children in the Fuji kindergarten, they're good at putting bucket underneath of the rig. So we thought it would be okay, but eventually we designed this, we put a tree in the middle of the courtyard. So the children can, the monkeys can fish their friends. Yeah, the monkeys again. And the children can looking down. And at the time of Christmas, the Santa Claus brings present through these skylights. But one day, the principal wanted to have a really good-looking Santa Claus, and he called good Santa Claus, good-looking Santa Claus with certificate from American base. But the problem is, she stuck in this window.
Yeah, this roof was designed for Japanese standard Santa Claus.
You can see monkeys again. And this is the switch for the lights. So if you pull this switch, you can split the 3 light bulbs. This is how it is built. And one student at the university made this kind of research. So this is showing the movement of a boy from 10 past 9 to 30 past 9. So the circumference is 200 meters. So this boy makes 600 meters in this 20 minutes, and he makes 6 kilometers in the morning. So it's quite a long distance as a kindergartner.
The surprise is not yet to come. 6,000 in the morning he made, but the average is about 4,000 meters. That is about 5 times of the normal kindergarten. You can see what the architecture can do.
Yeah, actually, this happens every day. We don't force them to learn. So it's kind of spontaneous movement of children.
It's like a sheep in the field. You open the gate, you get out. And you see many copies, in China of this kindergarten. But in China, always they're told, okay, you have to run with the kind of music in one direction. And they are not looking happy at all, But here you can see that they keep running in the wrong directions and they bump each other. And so always is there a specialist saying, oh, it must be dangerous. But the principal says, oh, nobody dies so far. Last 10 years. This is how things works.
About wait for 4,000 people going onto the roof. As there is no room, there are more than 20 windows on top of the roof. The children love to jump.
Yeah, they're monkeys. They're allowed to climb up trees. These days, it's not allowed in just normal circumstance.
After that, the principal asked us to design an English classroom for children. So we designed this building. It's a 5-meter tall building, but we put 7 floors in 5 meters. So we try to make everything in kids scale and everything in a smaller scale. The column, the size of the column is 3 centimeter by 3 centimeter.
Yeah, no, this used to be illegal before the Fuji kindergarten. Now we're okay. She's the government.
So when we design this kind of building, there must be a dangerous point for children. So we brought our children without helmet and let them play. And he hit his head around there. So he made bruise and he reported to us.
Yeah, he's quite resilient. He's my son, no problem.
He's trying to see if he can jump off. And then children get in. You can see the traffic jam is always a problem in Tokyo. He's trying to jump off. And
the right amount of dosage, right dosage of danger is very, very important.
Yeah,
don't make everything safe.
He's trying to help his friend to climbing up. Yeah, they are helping each other. That kind of thing is quite important for children. Yeah, she is climbing up. Actually, she is helping his friend, but he's bringing him down. And there is no furniture in classroom, so architecture itself becomes a furniture. It acts like a table and benches. Yeah, you can see she looks so happy. children usually they can't touch the ceiling. So when they can touch the ceiling, they look very happy. And this is the view after that. So the image of the writing is the flock of firefly. Do you know firefly? Yeah, firefly coming to this building. And I'll talk about the Muku Nursery School. Yeah, Muku Nursery School consists of 12 sakura umbrellas. It stands at the edge of at the foot of Mount Fuji in an industrial park. This nursery school belongs to a factory which makes box lunches for delivery. So she want to start a nursery school for the workers. And this is the model. So the image of this model we are inspired by the Japanese paper umbrellas, and we made this model. So there are 12 umbrellas. And the good thing about this circular planning is that the positioning of each function is completely free. So the location of each room is exactly decided as we analyze in the diagram. And the second thing is the visibility is quite excellent. So you can have a 360 visibility. You can get 360 visibility. Visibility is quite important for the kindergarten and nursery school. And you can see the view through the gap between the classroom from one end to another. And this is how it is built. It looks like a gas tank. And you can see the view from this end to another. And you can see the eaves are very low and deep. And the space between the rooms becomes a good place for the small children to play. And this is the classroom. This time, children likes to running around in the classroom. It's a kind of a genetic, instinctive movement for the children. You can see the light through the louvers. The people sit. The space under the eave is a good place for the people to sit. And you can see lights through the louvers. Moving Yeah, and there is a dish of water in the middle, and there is no edge around this water, so it's like a seashore. And the deepest point is only 30 centimeters, so we don't need to worry about their drone. And this is a view after dark. The rooms become a kind of lantern.
Yeah, so this is, people think, everybody knows, our kindergarten, the donut shape. So people think we are kind of donut shop. But now after this, they are saying that maybe you are selling macaron. Huh? So the donuts is not the only merchandise. So I'm going to show some more. Okay, this is a bit more serious project where we worked on. Tsunami came 2011, and there was a lady holding microphone to death. You have to leave the town. You have to leave the town. She got drowned to death, so she became a song. So she became a kind of hero, heroine. How do you say that? And then there's another hero. He's a monk, and he lost his kindergarten too. But he did something fantastic. And there used to be a very huge tree promenade. And this promenade used to lead people to this temple. This is about a few kilometers away from coastline, but the still water gets there. It's about 20 meters from sea level. So depth of the water became 20 meters. Okay, do you understand? So it's very hard to escape. This is how much water are reached. And what is monk told? When earthquake comes, you have to come to me, and your life will be saved. Because if you find an old temple, it means the water never reached, so it's safe. So many people get wet there. So this is kind of story saving life for people. And this promenade died. This tree died because ground is soaked, with seawater, and the salt sucked the water down. The old tree died. And in this case, I want you to design a temporary kindergarten. Sorry, no, we shouldn't do anything temporary. We should do permanent. Is it okay? Okay, you keep talking. It's okay? Okay. And then I said, no, you should do that. We should design something of permanence. So we chopped the tree. It's about 40-meter tall tree, but all these are dead. We said we can use it. And circumference is about 3 meters. So you should know that these trees are about 400 years. That is the most important thing about this project. And some trees got some deficit, and some woodpecker's nest. And we made some, timber structure out of this. Very heavy. You can lift it up. It's only 1.6 tons, which huge solid tree, huge wood. And we used, old joinery. And there's so many wisdom about it. We use the old style because in Japan, there are temples, surviving more than 1,000 years, maybe more than 300 temples surviving more than 1,000 years in Japan. So we try to use old technique. We call it, World Heritage. It's not. Nice looking temple, but it's not actually, but it belongs to one of the temples. And the kids are back. So this temple is not just a building. This column is made out of the tree killed by seawater. And this tree is telling, I was killed by seawater, 2011. But I was planted after the last tsunami, 1611. Exactly 400 years. Tsunami comes like a clockwork. So next one is going to be 2411. Maybe 10 years give and take. So saying, if big aspect comes, you have to come to me. Your life will be saved. So now just how the problem is looking like. And they are planting trees, and the tree will grow within 400 years. So 400 years from now, and they come to me, and we design another kindergarten, and you come to see the project, okay? 2411. So I can show you how the place is looking like. And this used to be just out the middle of the forest, okay? Everybody moved up, okay? And this ground is looking like a castle, but actually this is original ground. Everything became flat. And the people always worried about the injury of the kids. But if you look at this, they're quite resilient. I think you worried about the kids too much. It's an inclination within 1 in 20. No, she's okay. And this place get very cold in winters, -20, just like Boston. And in summer, 40 degrees. But they run around outside, just that we make sure inside warm enough. And they got enough feed, and they run around. That's the nice thing about this kind of timber building. It's quite different kindergarten from Fuji kindergarten, but the philosophy is same. We leave them outside. No, they are quite resilient. So these timbers are 10 stories. Okay. Now I'm going to show you more projects. Okay. After this. Okay. And now, well, maybe you haven't seen this, but this was published quite a lot. And this is a pavilion for one of the artists. It's a pile of big timbers. Joinery. This is a very interesting geometry. Structure resilient, just piling up. It's but you have to be careful now. If you put a fire on, it burns quite well, I think. And inside, you got net. It's a Canadian Japanese artist. She opens the net. We walk together. The nice thing about this project is that you don't need to tell them what they should do. All the movements are spontaneous. This is the nicest picture. It's nice, no? See, this is the kind of things I wanted to talk about, yesterday. You don't show us, the event. Architecture is not thing, but the event. And we didn't design any furniture because it can nest on the structure. Father is always tired. My wife and my son, he's cute, but not anymore. Not like this. Okay, I can show you some churches, the design. And this is a Protestant, so we are supposed to be some kind of modest looking space. We use more than 20,000 timbers put together. Look up like this, and it says the image is derived from the vessel of Noah. No, in the Bible. Light coming in. I know this pastor is not real. He is the Peter Cook. Do you know Peter Cook? He's very good at doing such kinds of things. And I told you in my office, there's so many marriages happening, and we put them together in office. But I told them, if you don't finish the project in time, you don't get the wedding ceremony. So, so they worked very hard. And also we worry about the acoustic all the time. And so it's not complete oval, it's distorted. So we don't make any focal point. And also just the movers are not flat, but they can absorb and soften the sound of it. And we could show all the project. It takes a day because we completed more than 60 buildings. So I picked up some of the buildings, and then also we show only small buildings. I think a skyscraper is boring, so we are not going to show it. This is a very modest church. And the time, I think say 11 or 10:30, the lights started coming in like this. This is divine moment. Oh, this is interesting. This is, this pose for baptism, and we designed to look like a part of floor, so looking like a nice black stone. And we realized, and actually, the pastor called us. It's very nice, We don't convince them to join the church. People baptize themselves. This baptism. Another church, people think Protestant is a kind of new kind of church, but actually they are saying, no, we are not new. We are trying to go back to the original. So okay, we should go back to Egypt, where people left Egypt. Story of Moses, the old part of the Bible. So we tried to go back. We went to see some old churches, before Catholic. And actually, she's one of our students. Her name happened to be Maria. So we made this church, our Church of Angel Ladder. It's also a story derived from the Bible. And after that, it looked like this, the deep, very deep skylights. Then people think I'm a Christian. Actually, I'm not. Actually, you can tell me, you can call me that I'm a Christian. At the same time, I'm Buddhist. And then sometimes I can be Hindu. Interesting about Japan is that Japan is only one place you can put Christian church right next to mosque. So always a religious peace conference is placed in Japan. And when girl gets 7 years old, and she gets celebration in Shinto temple, okay? A Shinto shrine, actually. And when girl wants to get married, they go to Catholic church. Looks good. And when they die, they go to Buddhism temple because they find the graveyard. That's how religion works in Japan. Just a convenience store. You can go whatever you want. Okay, I'm going to show you some nice public buildings. We were asked to design a chamber of commerce and industry for Tomioka City. And Tomioka City is known to have the World Heritage silk factory. This is the first kind of silk factory, modern silk factory, in the 1840 or 50, 1856. Yeah, that's quite old. More than 160 years old, more than 160 years. But also, this factory was known where they established the first labor law. Okay, some people say, "Oh, this used to be labor camp." Korean and the Chinese were brought, but it's not true. Actually, this is the first place they started a labor law. So more than 150 years ago, they made a rule that they have to have a weekend, and they can work only 7.5 hours, no more. It's better than our office. Okay, and also, the client, the city, asked us to show different aspects, apart from this historical element. And this city is known to send space rockets to asteroid belt. They make space rockets. Okay, the rocket actually brought the stone back to Japan. So we are trying to show two aspects. So we use timber, but at the same time, the geometry brings strength. So it's called origami structure. Origami is a paper folding technique. The shape makes a building to be strong, like this. And from street side, you can see the historical, facade. We kept old warehouse as a gate, and the one side we kept just only facade of the old shop which used to exist here. And they're mostly destroyed in earthquake, but we put it together again, and we continue to shape on the roof, the back, And from the other side, we are showing a future. We call it Millennium Falcon. You go up, and then you go through this warehouse, look back, completely historical. You go inside, it's a mixture of past and the future. So, manipulating time is a very important part of our design. Those are spaces, it's not square. This is very, very nice. It's soft. And this is not fake infrastructure. You can see fake infrastructures these days. People think putting timber is clean with the environmental message. But usually they put the steel first and they put timbers outside. But everything is quite well precisely calculated. And so these elements derived from local housings. Always they use a mesh. Okay, now I want to talk about my another profession. Right? We thought we are told we have 2 hours. We have to finish it now? So 8 o'clock, but I really need to finish it because I have to. まだ俺20分しか話してない。Something misunderstanding. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's because we thought we are told we have 2 hours. Okay. We tried to finish it now, but okay. I was told to design a kids museum. Usually, I don't like it because in a kids museum, you have to put kids in the museum, and the parents has to go somewhere to pick them up. It's a kind of because after school. I don't like that. So we made a concept called zoo. I know. You bring the kids and they can be together, with the parents. But the lioness or the zebra, all these are expensive. So kids are free. So you put kids in a dish, and the parents can drink outside. And now this is a movie we made, and it's very soft surface. And this shape brings kind of I can say spontaneous movement, and the kids love to run around like this. And also, grown up also want to do same thing. So we don't tell them what they should do next. And this nice moment it come now. Oops. And also we brought some musicians in time of the COVID-19. A nice thing about the place is that they can keep the distance. They can choose the distance. Usually kids don't like to go to a classic concert because they're confined in seatings. Okay, but here you can see that the kids are choosing distance, and they love the old music too. And she's sleeping. I can't still speed things up so easily. No. We don't need to tell them what they should do next. Okay, and in this kindergarten, we are giving them the chance to do what they were not supposed to do. Because they feel good. And this is a newspaper. Okay. So we are designing situations. Okay. And toilet roll. You like it? Anyway, so this is a project we need to talk. I just we completed recently. I said quite a lot. And these days, you are not allowed to do decoration. If you make decoration in your studio, most of the professor says, no, this is not the work of your architect. You have to think about space, geometry, sections, plan. Okay. But we try to do the opposite. But because until 100 years, maybe only 100 years ago, sculptures, paintings used to be a part of our job. Architects used to do that. Michelangelo, other people. So, I drew our image of Eden. Okay. And actually 56-meter wide drawing, 656, quite a long drawing. And one by one, and it's depicted with a 6mm dot, taking 6 months to draw this. We had a lot of time last 3 years. So, and we used the machine to drill the hole. And this is related to the story of Eden and Adam and Eve exile. But that is exactly what the university does. And actually, this school is designed named after the pastor who brought Christianity, Protestant to Japan, founded 50 years ago. And students are quite well protected, but they have to leave this Eden. You can see the light fills the space. Nice thing about the light is that you don't need to go to light. Light falls, just like in the forest. This always light falls, one by one relationship with God and human. This is what design. And if you zoom in, you don't see this much, but you can see that is how hole is made. But light get dispersed like this in the first light. Okay. So, but I can show another project just to quickly, and because you haven't seen this, some of you haven't seen this. This is how natural history museum in a particular region. This area gets the heaviest snow in the world. This museum got a very, very big window, 40-meter wide. And this is very special glass. Not acrylic, it's acrylic, the plexiglass. And in winter, snow comes. Very deep snow, 6 meter deep. And you get the call from curator. Is this safe? Said, yeah, we calculated. They said, are you sure? And then I asked the structural engineer, is it okay? He said, yeah, I think it's okay. So I told the curator, structural engineer said it's okay. They called us scary. But you can see that when the snow reaches the top of the window, you get a nice line of the light. We call Tadao Ando effect. This is a nice project. I really need to talk about this. I know that the Q&A, but that this India, the Bhutan, you can see the red on the middle. We got the project. It's very deep in the Himalaya mountain. This is between China and India, the India side. This area is quite poor, and we got the call from them. They want to make a school building because it's the existing building is very falling apart because of earthquake. There are 105, orphans living there. And to get there, you have to drive through this kind of road. That's a landslide, Takes 2 days from the closest airport. It's very close by. And he was born in toilet, and he studied very hard, and he started making some lecture in Harvard. amazing. He established, this orphanage 17 years ago. And you can see this movie later, because today I found that we don't have much time. No? And he picks up, the orphans one by one, just walking down the very narrow path like this. And they just the movie telling how the kids were, at the beginning she does all the wrong things, and she becomes good, kind girl later. Anyways, we don't have time to talk about. And then this person is asking, him to take as a boy. He's saying,
job is when and how to accept new kids. When I say yes, it means equally say I will save this kid's life. When I say no, it's about saying no is difficult. Saying no, I don't want to save this.
And then one child died because he couldn't take it, and this grandmother is saying, I used to have 7 children, and 6 died. That's the last one, and you didn't save, and he died. And they are doing funeral, and and now just at the end of the movie, this movie got the Emmy Prize. It's available on YouTube. And now at the end, she can say her name. And also, the monk is saying, I didn't have any childhood, but now we have 85 children. So I'm having 85 childhood. It's how happy I am. And then we will visit the community. The Christmas time, they use hand. Actually, this is this is one of the work architects, and they made a Christmas, not Christmas, just her Yui's birthday party over there. Good. And this is I tried 100-meter run, 3,000 meters from sea level. So we make it very close. Okay, that's the point. Okay, I know this. We try to make a school based on Buddhism. It's called Shunyata, but zero. Shunya is zero. Shunyata is how we can be zero. So you can bring people together. And education is about the debate. In Buddhism, they start 1, and then you can start share idea with 2, 3, 7, 11. That's how they did it. And that school became the best in that region. And we tried to find the best school configuration. We tested many ways, and also we try to see how they used to study. This is how they studied by themselves. At the beginning, teacher is talking, but they don't use a blackboard. Then they share. And we tested that in our university, 1 by 1 scale. We got a really huge space. And after the study, and we designed a classroom like this. And this is a plan. We reached end. So it's about sharing, how you can share the idea. Circle. This is a model we worked with. Okay. I know that, he's worried about that. Sorry, we need to show this. And also the problem with religion, because they're using concrete, but this doesn't stand against the next aspect. And while we are seeing that concrete buildings, the old buildings stand, very thick wall. So we decided to use old technique, because we used concrete, all money go out. And now we are raising money. Okay. They got zero budget at this moment. Now they have 2.5 because we raised it. And this is how the building is looking like. We don't get into the detail. Okay. But we use the local technique. Anyway. Okay. Oh, thank you very much. I have to use space for the second day. By the way, if you make good question, you get the book. I wrote the book. Okay. Only good question. I'm sorry, just that I thought misunderstood. We have 2 hours. Okay. No problem. Can I continue another hour? Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
For what's that? A microphone.
You want the microphone?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
One?
Yeah, just one.
Okay.
We know that there is an event at 8, so if you need to leave early, it's totally fine. If you want to stay, we'll have a quick Q&A. We're going to take questions. We're going to pass the mic around to anyone that has a question. And we also, if you're on Zoom, you can type your question in the chat, and if we have time, we'll get to it later. I actually wanted to ask a question before we open up to the audience. I noticed that you have a lot of architecture, you have a lot of ideas about how architecture is not just about the object, not just about the architect themselves, but it's actually about the experience and how people feel when they're in the architecture. But at the same time, your work is also really beautiful and really appropriate for a lot of architecture publication. So I'm wondering, how do you reconcile this kind of innocent task of making architecture that children really enjoy, but also at the same time is a beautiful piece of architecture that architects can enjoy as well?
Okay, I'm surprised to reconcile. But I remember this moment, our professor in Japan used to say, always is a conflict between architecture and the architect and the client, how we can make some kind of mutual understanding. It's not like that, we try to be together. Okay, so if we are finding a good same goal, we don't need to have a conflict. Okay, but sometimes a client doesn't understand us. Then always people ask, "How would you do that?" And we get fired. But the truth is that most people got reasonable understanding. They understand our concept. So it's very important, say, right thing. Yesterday I told you, never say, I wanted this because, no. There is no you, no the I. Because we design things for the others most of the time. Unless you design things for your mother, no? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, how can I say? Actually, we are quite, the clients were very good. Yeah, so yeah.
We are lucky.
Yeah, we are lucky. But sometimes we have bad clients sometimes. But in that case, we just, we try our best, but sometimes it doesn't work. But so far we have good clients, so we can, we can face to the same goal. Yeah. So in that kind of case, we can achieve both.
The most important thing, you become good guys. No?
If you have a question, you can raise your hand.
Thank you very much. Wonderful, wonderful architecture. I have one question. Recently, a woman who had been working for disability tax died, 50 years. And I was wondering, when I was seeing all the wonderful children running around, how does it work in Japan in terms of, is there anything equivalent to the American Disabilities Act? How would children who go to school are have disabilities, wheelchair, stuff like that? How does
Okay, there's a misunderstanding. Okay? If you look at the Fuji kindergarten, there is no very steep staircase. I have seen the schools with a huge staircase with no handrail. You know that one. Yeah. The thing is, everything is accessible with wheelchair because just too flat. Maybe just a slight inclination. Okay. The point is, it's about choice. usually people only think about safety. Okay, then government want to make everybody to be safe. Okay, but in the past, you could choose if you want to do something little dangerous point. No, you could go there. But these days you're not allowed, and I think kids are quite spoiled. Okay, I think it's very important to leave some kind of some dosage of danger. Okay, and as I said, the roof house is illegal now, so it doesn't happen anymore. So I'm sorry, we don't do that anymore. But we put handrail, and also Fuji Kindergarten got about maybe more than 10 disabled children. Okay, they're doing quite happy. And also, I had an interesting talk with the king of Bali Island, Indonesia. In developed countries, you people make everything flat, the slope, the elevator. We don't do such a kind of things. Because if you make everything to be kind, you can leave these disabled people alone. Here, we carry them. And also, that brings money opportunity. It's good for Bali people. So it's not, I think, just, safety and also care for these disabled people about consciousness. And I learned this because my elder brother is disabled. So I know how these people are. They really want to be a part of the community. They want to be treated as they want. You can't make all the mountains to be flat. No, you can't put elevated Rocky Mountains. Okay, no. So you find a way to bring them with you. Okay, that is what we do. Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Do you want the book? You don't? No? You don't like the book? You want? Thank you. Okay. Do you read English? Do you read English? Okay, good. This is mine, of course. Okay.
Hi, thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. It's extremely interesting. I noticed that many of the structures that you're building, and most of them being in Japan, structurally, I just noticed that many of them are very advantageous in the case of an earthquake event, and especially with the axial strength of the grid system for the factory that uses the mass timber. The use of these resilient structures, is that an active thought in your structural design when you come up with a space for people to be in, even maybe in a case of emergency, to be as hubs as well?
Well, we had a big earthquake, 2011. Very little percentage of architecture get destroyed. You should know it's quite easy to design resilient architecture. Okay, we have got this. We got this quite fine structural engineering. So if you do properly, nothing get destroyed. But now just we need to know how you treat that that energy. If you look at this project, sorry, I need to go back. Okay, we could use diagonal member for this church. Actually, but this used grid system. Okay, they feel in the structure, and this structure is very soft, absorb energy, and we try to deal with that, horizontal movement as just like a forest. It moves, evade energy, and that is a quest close to old Japanese architecture. It's absorbing energy instead of resisting it. And then, so you can bring that story with with a story of Eden. So it's a part of architecture concept. So it's the answer is yes, you can use these buildings for the shelter. But the point is, nothing will be destroyed because everything is calculated. So there is a building will stand at the end. That's the important thing is that how you deal with the structure as a part of a concept.
Thank you.
If somebody wants to come.
Yeah.
Your book, you should come to pick it up. But you have choice, 3 kinds of books. You want this? This is smallest price. No, just you have, Okay, you can carry on. Your question. Okay, carry on. You have microphone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the lecture, and thank you for coming to the review yesterday.
Okay, could you speak loudly?
Yeah. Thank you so much for the lecture, and thank you for coming to our review yesterday. It was very helpful. I noticed with a lot of your projects, you talk a lot about the narrative and the starting point. You have to think about the people and how they will use the space. But a lot of your projects also have a larger massing idea. So the donut and the little umbrellas organized on the site. So my question is, where do you start designing? Do you start designing from the moment of how people interact? Or do you start designing from the site and how you organize these spaces?
Everything comes together, same time. Also, we struggle quite a lot. Usually we make minimum 50 ideas, with model. Still make small models, and even not even to the detail. We don't just make our shape of architecture to the detail. So Fuji Kindergarten had more than 2,000 models we made. So if you come to my office and you have to make many models, and if you don't make 5 ideas in a day, you get sacked. That's how we decide the shape.
Making model is quite important. So when you put the model on hand, you can see from you can see from above, and we can see from everywhere. So that kind of thing makes us think about the space and people all together at the same time.
Hi, I was wondering about that you, with all the luck you had with clients and the government, that there was like a very minimal amount of conflict, but with engineers and construction workers, I'm assuming there might have been maybe some restriction or conflict, but also with that, has there always been some restriction in your own minds of thinking about structure and construction that holds you back from a bit more free thinking creativity with your projects?
So do you have such a kind of pain? you are talking like a 50 years old architect. And the truth is, it's a life. Because you have difficulties, you have fun. But the most important point is that you never give up. Okay? Sometimes you lose. Sometimes you get it. So there's no answer. Just you keep trying. You get some kind of difficult client. Sometimes you get difficult construction company. But there's one thing I tell you. I got the advantage. I understand structural engineering. And then when I used to write a program from scratch, I used to computerize program. So I really understand structural engineering. So when we decide shape, engineering come with us. So it's good to take engineering class, architecture, structure class, which you don't like usually.
So I wanted to thank you for the presentation. It was great. And I also want to thank you for coming to our critiques yesterday, which was absolutely awesome. And
sorry, at the end, I slept.
Towards the end.
It was jet lag, sorry.
No, I get that. But like relating to our own studio projects, especially in design, we go through iteration after iteration. So like going through like multiple iterations constantly, and as you described before about making tons of models and tons of ideas, what would be like specific things that when you know that you finally found something, or like when you found something that you realize does work, and when is it enough? When you're going through the ideas that you're going through and developing concepts and iterations and schemes, when does it really like hit you, or what are the key factors that let you know that you're at the point that you want to be conceptually? Or is there ever a point that, do you just kind of give into a concept?
There's no, it never end. No, always you keep trying, but always we make sure the architecture comes with the story. Just we don't make shape. So the time comes. Sometimes you're always constrained with time. This construction in Japan is much faster. Sometimes the project give you just only half a year to design the build. Okay, but when when you become professional, you learn how to complete it. Okay, sometimes I found shorter design duration. It's better to make good concept because there's no disturbance.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the back.
First of all, really thank you for your presentation. I really love the work, but my question isn't really much about the work itself, but maybe more about the happy architect's life that you talked about, like in the very beginning, like happiness. And you said happiness is like about the family happiness is really important. So how do you maybe balance the work of an architect, because it's commonly known as really busy and miserable, versus, I don't know, how do you keep it happy? I don't know.
So you're saying this school is not happy?
I mean, it's
okay, but I think just the monk was giving a very interesting, answer to you. Just the monk I was talking at the end. Okay, you can't be happy alone. Okay, even you get $1 million, you never be happy. You know that the one of the most rich, one of the richest guy in the world is making war. Okay, I don't think he's looking happy. He can't go to, restaurants alone. He can't make another nice girlfriend. No, he can't be with his children. But maybe, just the family with maybe 50,000 income in a year could be much happier than him. Okay, so if you do something good for others, you feel good. Okay, some people says, to do some nice people, you have to constrain yourself and you have to devote yourself. It's not true. When we do something, we get our not much money, but it's about smile. And when you make people smile, you feel good. So if you keep doing that, not only architecture, with your friends, maybe with your professor. If you make your professor happy, professor is nice to you, your life will be better, and your school will be better, and your life being architect is also going to be nice. That is how things works. Do nice things for the others, and smile. And the happiness of the others is yours. You can't be happy alone. That is the truth, I think.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you for the lecture.
Could you speak loud?
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking about how a lot of like health and learning is built into your spaces, and I'm wondering if and like happiness is sort of built into the space, and I'm wondering if you consider that when thinking about the material that's used.
Material.
Yeah, and how happiness and like health and vitality is within the material that you choose to make your projects with.
So are you questioning that how we can incorporate happiness into a part of our choice of material?
Choosing what?
Materials.
Yeah.
Just the physical material I'm talking about. I see.
Maybe material comes after we talk with the client. Yeah. We design architecture. Yeah, according to the client. Their what they like. So we try ourselves to become like themselves. So
The project tell you which structure you should use. When we design 200 meter, 300 meter tall building, you can't use timber. Okay, this has got to be steel. And sometimes timber is good because you can keep the consistency from the handrail to the structure. Okay. Sometimes it's nice to use paper as a window. No, because if you get oblique light, blue light from the outside, and you may find that they meet with your concept. That's how it works. Okay. So the answer doesn't come from your ego. And some architects say, "Oh, I use only paper. I use only timber." We don't do that. Always there's appropriate answer for the project, I think.
More questions. Okay, I'm gonna go to the back.
You should know that our flight is on Sunday. We can keep going.
Thank you. Hi. I just, first of all, really wanted to thank you for this presentation. I mean, I felt peaceful just looking at it, I felt like I was there and I was running with the kids, and it was really inspiring. And one thing I both noticed and really inspired me was that I feel like a constant or consistent theme was harmony with the natural world, and that you guys also seem to use a lot of organic shapes. And I noticed a lot of organic shapes, open spaces. In the first, I got here kind of late, but in the first one, in one of the schools, there were no walls. And I was really before I even ask, and I'm noticing a lot of symmetry, a lot of proportion, a lot of just you really interacting with the natural world, and often exposed wood, and everything. And I think, the biggest thing that I noticed was this harmony and this beauty, and you really working with nature. And even when you had the tree that was going through the school and the kids are playing on it. So I guess I was kind of wondering if you could, and not only that, but it also, even listening to you talk now, it just feels like it's more than, this is not just a job for you. It feels like a very spiritual process. Every time you're working on a project and you're working with these children, it just feels like really intrinsic, and like your spirit is in it. So I was just wondering if you talk about this relationship that you have with the organic shapes and the harmony with the natural world. And is that conscious, or is that just how you create? And I'm just reading into it.
Always bloody professors are talking about the proportion, geometry, axis, all these, okay? Forget about all these, because it's not important. It's nothing more than a technique, okay? And the answer is in the word. In architects, you sometimes try to get to the perfection. The perfection doesn't exist in the world, because every element in the nature is imperfect. It's designed to fulfill the missing part with others. That is how nature works. Everything we eat is given from somewhere. And if you are doing something for the world. So when you design architecture, sometimes you make a very low roof. Some people say it's ugly. Okay? Don't worry about it if you have a good reason. So people used to say, oh, high ceiling is better for the kindergarten. Somebody said, okay, you have to have 3 meters. That's good for the children. But it wasn't true. Okay? So nature tells you what architecture should be. Actually, I'm using the word of Louis Kahn. You know Louis Kahn? And also, what's the name of that architect, the iconic architect who died? John Haydock. John Haydock used to say same thing. You need to understand how the nature was supposed to be, how you understand the time. I think about imperfection. Some people try to be beautiful. They want to have a cosmetic surgery. Okay, but I think every living things, especially human, are beautiful. It doesn't matter, thick or thin, because that is what you are. That is what you should think about. The most important is how was it taking place in space, not making space in the environment. Do you understand what that means? Okay.
I think, okay.
You can keep going on this Sunday.
You're just going to ask a question and then we can take maybe 2 or 3 more. So don't worry.
Thank you for the lectures. Really appreciate all the...
Where are you? Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah. So you were talking about the floor height for kindergartens, and I was wondering, how do you make sure that everything in kindergartens, of course, they're designed for kids. How do you make sure everything in the architecture works for the scale of kids? Because I think it is quite difficult to think how kids behave or what things are work for them. I have a nephew, and I haven't seen him in 2 years. Recently I have to learn about how to interact with kids. And when I see the videos of him, it's really interesting to see kids, they interact with things surrounded with them different than we do. So how do you make sure that everything works for the kids?
Okay, I got the similar question in the GSD, and he was one of my students. He asked me, how do I understand all this? I said, no. You have a girlfriend. No, I know that you have a girlfriend. What are you going to do with her? I said, yeah, we are going to get married sooner or later. Okay. And then you're going to have a kids. Okay, we do. And then you understand it. So if you want to understand the kids, you make your own. And when my father died, I designed the grave. I don't know what we should do, but time will come.
Okay, question. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if you want to, design a restaurant, you should try to cook. If you want to understand the concert hall, you should play music. So I do many things. I'm a very good chef, and I play piano. I run. I try to do many things. Not that this has to be the best. You play piano? Okay, good. Okay, good. Very good.
So we can only take 2 more questions, but I think you should choose because there's lots still left in the room. So
I don't want to be guilty. Okay, because I can keep going. You choose. You are responsible.
Okay. Lots of pointing over here. Okay. Either.
Is it?
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So I have I feel like a lot of successful architects nowadays, you have they always go from country to country. Like you got a project in America or Europe, but the people of America and the people of a country in Europe are not of the same. So, and when you talk about making architecture for the people, to me, I can understand it because you're working at your home nation. So I'm just wondering if an architect should kind of go beyond its boundaries into a different country where they might not understand the people and create architecture in that region, I guess. I don't know, but that's
I think that's the most difficult people to deal with is the people from New York City. Because people get used to bacon egg and some kind of expensive sandwiches. But truth is, I think humans are all same, And one of the students from GSD had a problem in sushi bar in Tokyo. I brought my students, to the best sushi bar in Tokyo. And he said, my mother told me not to eat raw material. So everybody ordered standard, but he said, maybe I can eat one piece. Best, and he ordered one tuna sushi, And everybody ordered the standard, okay, because it's a standard menu. I want to exceed certain limit, but he ordered one piece. Oh, this is fantastic. I can eat more. He ate the same thing, but he ended up the most expensive meal. So my truth is I think just prejudice exists, okay? And when I go to India, Indian food is good. And when Indian student come to my university in Tokyo, then he loves the good Japanese food. But the food needs to be the best. And there are some very good hamburger shop. But if you in New York City, if you go to wrong place, it tastes like a carpet. Okay? So every aspect of the culture got good part, the bad part. Okay? So, I don't think you need to adjust that, but don't force people to eat McDonald's in India. Okay, because they don't want to eat beef. Okay, so you should respond to the environment and the culture over there. Okay, I don't believe same kind of human right works throughout the world. Now I'm talking about the politics. Okay, if you try to force everybody in the world to share the idea of liberty, you got in the problem because they need time. Okay, we experienced that 160 years ago in Japan. Things were changing very quickly. We got the conflict, but we get over it, taking 50 years. Let them give the time. And now about architecture, you should know human beings are all same. Indian, Chinese, Korean, African, all same. People think they are different. That's where problems start. Okay? Thank you, I think. Do you want my microphone? Is it the microphone not working?
Thank you so much for the wonderful lecture. It's very inspiring. Throughout your projects, I've noticed how crucial the adaptiveness of architecture is. A column can become a pole for a child to climb on. The
Sorry, don't read the text. It's not easy to understand. Just use your own words.
I've noticed how crucial the adaptiveness of architecture is to your studio. And I was wondering how many of these moments are designed versus left to the user.
Sorry, I don't know the question. You said adopt? Adaptiveness. Yes, I know. You need to be more objective. You just need to know what this is. And I know that abstract word, but then I don't answer the question.
The moment of adaptiveness in your work where a child might climb onto a tree or use the knife in an unexpected way. How much of it is designed or?
Designed. Everything is expected. No. I see. Okay. And always I say, easy planning. Careful planning, careful planning, and easy execution. Even you design everything very, very carefully. It doesn't work as you expected. But it's very important you design everything very carefully. I don't trust any universal space. But if you design the best church in New York City, could be best club, or could be best restaurant. That is how things works. Okay. So designing architecture is just like designing your children. As much as you put your love into them, they grow up. But you can't force them to be architects. That is exactly what's happening to our children. He used to be, good. He's very good designer, I think, but he's 70 years old, and but I'm not sure he become an architect. No, that is how things works. So just let it go, but you have to design very carefully.
Yeah. Amount of thinking is quite important. Yeah, you can, when you see something, you can feel from the things, the amount of thinking which are put into that things. So yeah, that's kind of thing.
Effort. Do you know the book called Seven Lamps of Architecture, written by John Ruskin? That is what it is. You can make questions if you want to. I said my flight is on Sunday.
Maybe just one more.
Last question.
So I actually dropped out of Cooper because I felt...
You don't like it?
No. I felt this insane burden of not being able to... Okay, let me start again. So I've noticed like a very big theme in your work is that you build based on behavior, right? And you kind of notice human behavior before anything else. And I really respect that because personally, I've really struggled with convention and what has been done, for all these years. And obviously taking history classes and learning about what has been done before is very, very important. But how do you deal with convention, having lower walls or lower ceiling in the kindergarten, or having a circular room instead of the normal rectangular room? Like, is that part of your process? Do you consider it, and how do you go forward in designing?
I think we trust our instinct. Okay. Sometimes people think, okay, some authority would tell you, how the steps should be, okay, how the seat should be. But at the same time, you like beans cushion, okay? You don't sit like this all the time, okay? And then sometimes you want to sit like this, okay? And that comes from instinct. So I said, it's very important to be you, because our answer is within you. So that when the answer comes from experience. You have a reason why you think it's good. And as long as the answer is based on the experience, you're invincible. You can defeat your mean professor. You understand it? Yes, for example, I say, okay, I had a very nice hamburger in the restaurant, and I found it's nice to be on a counter, rather than being on a table. And I really want to see how the hamburger comes out, how we want to see how it works. And even there's a professor says, no, the hamburger should eat on the table. I said, no. But I never liked it. So still, you win. Do you understand what that means? Okay.
But then how do you feel about built structures? There's so many problems with things that have already been built. How do you navigate either fixing those or, altering it for the community? Like a huge thing with the New York City grid is redlining.
Unfortunately, I'm not like a genius, Jesus Christ. I'm not trying to change New York City. There are dumb things going on about the city. The same thing about the Tokyo. It's ugly things, okay? But if you do something right, people follow you. And you can't change everything in your lifetime. The change will come after your life, I think.
Have you been to Marseille?
No.
In France? Yeah, if you go to Marseille, you can see the many copy of the Rue Corbusier. Yeah. So
Yes,
that
so
kind
many,
of, yeah.
adaptation, many.
Yeah. Unité d'habitation. There are so many copies, but always the original is the best. But the copy, that it's important to make the things which people likes to copy, that kind of thing. So yeah.
And also, I can give you another answer. Yeah, if you are to change more than your ability, become a professor. And if you become a good professor, you can raise good students. They become good architects, and then you can change the world. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yep, that's it.
Thank you.